You've changed your diet. You've tried therapy. You've taken supplements, even committed to yoga, but something still feels off. What if the missing piece isn't more effort, but your nervous system? Welcome to Healing Beyond the Symptoms, the podcast that helps people discover the root causes of their health struggles and take back control with science, strategy, and self-awareness. I'm Dr. Leah Hahn, a chiropractor and functional wellness doctor who believes that true healing starts beneath the surface. So let's dive in. So many of our patients come to us saying, I have tried everything, but I still feel stuck and nothing really lasts. They've done the therapy, they've done the meditation, they're eating as clean as they can, they're exercising, but they still feel exhausted. They still feel anxious and disconnected. This isn't because they're doing it wrong. It's because the approaches don't address the control center of the body, the nervous system. Realize that the nervous system is literally controlling every single function in your body. It's responding to your emotional state, your internal physical state. It's taking cues from your environment, your temperature, your comfort level, your stress, your tension, your emotional tone in the environment. If you're a highly sensitive person, you're taking even more of this in. You may be highly sensitive to the energetic sense in the room. You may be highly sensitive to the needs of others or making sure that other people are comfortable, or even the undertones of the conversations that are happening around you. Your nervous system is taking all of that in. Or you may be an empath. You may be absorbing the emotions from all of those around you, reading so much into what other people think, how they feel, their expressions, again, their comfort level. You're taking all of that in, and maybe you're even making those emotions your own. This takes incredible amounts of energy, and it's all being processed by the nervous system. The nervous system is like the body's operating system. If it's stuck in survival mode, every single program you try to run, whether it's nutrition, whether it's supplements, whether it's therapy, all of it's struggling to actually take hold. So what does the nervous system actually do? Well, first, it's important to realize that it's the communication highway between your brain and every organ, every hormone, and every single muscle within your body. So to break it down, I've talked about this before, and I'll briefly talk about it again. There's the voluntary part of the nervous system. So if I want to move my arm, I can move my arm. But then there's the involuntary part of the nervous system. And this is divided into two different parts. So the more technical term of that is the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system has the parasympathetic side and the sympathetic side. The sympathetic side is what most people understand as fight or flight or even the freeze response. The parasympathetic side is the opposite of that. It's the rest, digest, and heal. So it's really important to realize that we want balance between the two sides. We want the ability to move back and forth between sympathetic and parasympathetic. There are times when we need to be stressed. We need to mount a response that allows us to move, to respond, to get something done quickly. And then in the parasympathetic side, we want our body to easily move back into a place where it can heal and rest and digest our food, take care of our bodies, and really go into a place where we can recover. When our nervous system is regulated, we can create calm, clarity. We can create a very peaceful level of energy. But when we're dysregulated, it gets stuck in fight or flight or freeze, and healing can't happen fully. Defense physiology is an important tool to have, but we need to activate it at the right times. If you're walking down a dark alley at night, that's not the right time to feel safe. That is the right time to be really hypervigilant about what's happening around you. But if we're walking down the beach, I hope that we could be in a really calm state where our bodies are able to heal and thrive. But again, when the body is stuck in fight or flight, our emotions are stuck and we don't show up as we want to. We become a shadow of ourselves and we're disconnected from who we are, from what we need, from our boundaries, and the true expression of who we are. Our bodies will speak for us. And why is that? We often think that the brain is the main control organ in terms of the nervous system. But realize that 80% of the information moving through the nervous system is moving from the body to the brain. If stress physiology is causing us to lose connection, with our body, we aren't implementing strategies that facilitate regulation and healing. The body isn't clearing that stress. And we're taught to address this through the mind. We're taught to think it's just stress, it's no big deal, or try to block the feeling of stress by disassociating or numbing ourselves, when what we really need to do is connect to the body so the body can give the mind a new message. So what we need to do is create more peace, an environment in which we can listen to our intuition, one in which we have the space to honor our body and our needs. This is creating something called coherence in the nervous system and in life, when everything in the body and the mind can work effectively together. My mentor has said many times before that pain and dysfunction is an incongruency in who we are and the life that we are living. How can we be in touch with who we are and what we should be moving towards when we're stuck in stress physiology? When we're disconnected and we feel stuck, we might deal with brain fog, we might deal with panic attacks. Our mind-body is shunted towards maintaining tight muscles and an elevated heart rate and dysregulated breathing, and we lose valuable resources that could help us connect to who we are and how we best thrive. We lose connection to our long-term goals because we're just surviving. Patterns of stress create an armor, a physical armor in our bodies. We each have different patterning of how we created that armor. So think of it this way. Typically, when we're young, we have different experiences, things that have happened to us that were completely overwhelming to our nervous system. It was so overwhelming that it wasn't safe to feel all of it or process all of it at one time. So our body and our brain's brilliance engaged specific patterning to cope. And when the brain figured this out, it used this patterning over and over and over again until that became our own brand of armor. This armor is affecting your physical body, it's affecting your emotions, it's affecting your perspective. And you've lived with that armor for so long that you may be unaware of it. But it shows up in your body's signals. The tightness, the tension, the shallow breath, the racing thoughts, maybe panic attacks, maybe feeling disconnected or shut off. If this pattern in the nervous system has never been addressed, maybe you've never had nervous system-based chiropractic, maybe you haven't worked on strategies that have helped to support your nervous system regulation, that armor is so present in your system. And until you can become aware of those patterns, physically and emotionally, and how those patterns may be affecting your behavior and your choices, your nervous system will stay stuck. So let's go back over this again. What are everyday signs that your nervous system is dysregulated? You wake up tired no matter how long you sleep. Your stress shows up in your body, in tight shoulders, in chronic low back tension, jaw clenching, shallow breathing. And you feel disconnected. You feel like you're going through the motions, but you're not really present in anything that you're doing. If you take rest or vacations, or you're taking moments of self-care, but they're only giving you temporary relief. They're not really changing or shifting anything within your life. Or you feel like you're having just periods of emotional hyperreactivity. You find yourself going from 0 to 100 on an emotional scale way more quickly than you would ever like to. So why could the nervous system be your missing link? If you've tried everything else and you still feel stuck, chances are that your body hasn't learned how to feel safe again. And that's not your fault. It's your nervous system protecting you. The nervous system is supposed to learn and understand the world, and if it doesn't feel safe, we can't get out of the proverbial dark alley. Our body and our mind stays in hypervigilance and fear and overwhelm. And realize that healing isn't about fixing you, it's about helping your body shift out of survival mode so everything else you're doing can finally work. You're not broken, you're just running the wrong program at the wrong time. Healing will involve creating adaptability for the mind and the body, and that's key. So I want to give you some first steps of what you can do to start to change this situation. The first thing I want you to do is start with awareness. Do you know what your body feels like when it's relaxed? And maybe you don't, so maybe we can start with learning how your body feels when it's stressed. Notice patterns like shallow breathing or constant tension, or notice what it feels like when that stress time period really starts to elevate in your system. Say to yourself, and this is really important, my nervous system is protecting me, but I don't have to stay here. This is a form of acknowledging how you actually feel, acknowledging where you're actually at. When you can accept where you're actually at instead of pushing the feeling away, it can move. If you don't accept how you feel and you keep pushing the feeling away, your body will create more of it until you actually acknowledge it. So I want you to even acknowledge, you can say it out loud, you can say it to yourself, but I want you to acknowledge how you actually feel. Then I want you to start to practice some micro resets. One is using your breath. I've talked about this before. It is absolutely key to take deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth with a longer exhale. One of the things that you can do is actually put your hand on your heart and take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. I want you to start to create some daily rituals that are calming to you. Things like moments to disconnect from the media, from social media, from your computer, from your tablet, your phone, but have those moments in the day that are technology free when you can take a chance to actually see how you feel and notice what's happening within your body. Other great opportunities are to take a short walk outside, take a meditation break. I love the app called Insight Timer. I use it daily myself. There are thousands of meditation teachers from all over the world that have put their material on that app, and it's free. So I use that every single day. And you can use breathwork. So all of these things that we're talking about can be incredibly effective in resetting your system throughout the day. And then I want you to think of healing as regulation, not force. So instead of pushing harder with diets and hard workouts, ask, what would feel safe for my body right now? And maybe that is taking a walk. Maybe it's doing some gentle yoga. It doesn't have to be pushing harder. Maybe it's taking a break from weightlifting and choosing a gentler workout for that day. And then I want you to consider that there are nervous system supports that can actually reorganize how the nervous system is functioning. Network Spinal is a gentle, non-invasive approach that helps your nervous system reorganize stress patterns and access safety. In that way, healing is not forced, it's allowed. Consider gentle nervous system-based chiropractic care. Network Spinal is a gentle, non-invasive approach that helps your nervous system to reorganize stress patterns and access safety. So healing isn't forced, it's allowed. I want you to have some tactical takeaways. If nothing seems to stick, your nervous system may be the missing link. Remember that healing requires safety, not more willpower, not more intensity. And by supporting your nervous system regulation, you unlock the potential for all of your other efforts to actually work, for them to actually take root. We've talked about a lot in today's episode. I've got a free PDF of resources you can use to reset your nervous system that will be linked in the show notes. If you're interested in the Insight Timer app, it's available in app stores and it will also be linked in the show notes. Thank you for tuning in today on Healing Beyond the Symptoms. If you've often thought, why isn't anything working? Remember, you're not broken. Your nervous system is just patterned, and patterns can change. To learn more, download our free guide in the show notes, and you can also book a wellness consultation at bodyinbalancechiropractic.com to explore how Network Spinal Care can help. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Body and Balance Wellness Center for daily tools and insights. Until next time, breathe deep, listen in, and trust that your body knows the way home. Thanks again for joining me today on Healing Beyond the Symptoms. If you've been curious about Network Spinal, or if you've tried everything else and still feel stuck, I want you to know this. Your body is not broken. It's patterned, and those patterns can change. If you're ready to experience how gentle care can lead to profound transformation, I'd love to invite you to book a wellness consultation at bodyandbalancechiropractic.com. Together, we'll look at what your body needs to finally release, reset, and thrive. Until next time, breathe deep, trust your body, and remember, gentle can be powerful.